Welcome to the Thrift Store Kitchen Review, where I test all the weird junk from the thrift store so you don't have to. Welcome to this episode of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. I had my episode planned for this week. I knew what I was going to film. I had my concepts ready to go, but sometimes plans change. In the world of social media, sometimes you just have to strike when the iron's hot. And the iron we're going to be getting hot, we're bringing back the Alex by Dash Bundt Cake Maker. What are we making? You guessed it, lemon pound cake. Now, before I start making the actual batter for the cake, the first thing I need to do is get some lemon juice and some lemon zest. Now, I don't have a zester, and I've never zested lemons before, but apparently you can do it with a cheese grater. So I'm gonna go ahead and very gently just start making some zest. Now, from what I'm reading, you want to be real careful that it doesn't get into the white part. You just want to keep it to the yellow part so that it isn't bitter. Okay, now I got a decent amount of zest here. Wasn't going to make you sit through that whole process. Now what I want to do is make some lemon juice to put aside for the batter and the glaze. So I have my little citrus juicer right here. I'm just going to juice these 2 lemons. There we go. All right. 2 more. And the last. Okay, so we have a decent amount of lemon juice right here. I'm going to put this aside, and now we're going to start making the batter. Okay, so we got the old KitchenAid out. Now the first thing we want to do is cream the butter and sugar. So I have the whisk attachment, and I have 2 sticks right here of softened, unsalted butter. The butter is going to be beaten by itself for about a minute, and once that's done, we add in the sugar. Now that the butter's been beating for about a minute, we want to add 1 cup of sugar. Let me go ahead and turn that off for a sec. Have our sugar in there, and then we let it start going again at that same speed for about 2 more until they're creamed together. Then we start adding the other ingredients. That's been going for about 2 minutes, so according to the recipe I'm using, I want to cut the mixer down to a low speed and add 3 eggs. Now, for some reason, it's saying to do them 1 by 1, so that's what I'm going to do. And to do it at a low speed. Maybe need just a little bit higher so it gets mixed. There's number 2. And here goes egg number 3. And once this is fully combined, a little bit of the egg stuck on the back, so I'm going to scrape it down some. But once this is fully combined, then we're going to stop the mixer and add the liquid ingredients. Okay, so it's time to add the liquid ingredients. Now, the first one is a 1/4 cup of sour cream. I'm just going to eyeball this one. That should be about 1/4 cup. Next, it's time for our lemon juice. It says to use 3 tablespoons, so just going to fish it out with the tablespoon. A little bit more. And we're good. Next, we need 1 teaspoon of the zest. So I'm gonna make about a teaspoon's worth right here. In it goes. And the last liquid ingredient is vanilla extract. And for that, I will need 1 teaspoon worth. And now we're going to let it beat at about a medium speed. And once this is combined, we add the dry ingredients. Okay, time to add the dry ingredients. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and stop the mixer. I'm going to run it for a sec to try to get as much out of the whisk attachment as I can. They did say the current appearance is normal, that it will look curdled due to the different ingredients that are in there. I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the sink, and then I'm going to swap the whisk attachment out for the paddle attachment. Okay, now I want to turn it back on at a low speed, and I have the dry ingredients right here, which I've already combined. That is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So this is all the ingredients that go into the batter. So I'm going to let this run, and once this is ready, we're going to start baking the lemon pound cakes. Okay, so I have the machine set up and it is preheated. So the first thing I want to do is I want to hit both sides with some cooking spray. Then I want to get the center plate aligned with the grooves. Now, if you haven't watched it yet, I'll link it at the end of the video too. Please be sure to check out our initial review of this product. Now, one issue we did have with this is that it did kind of cook unevenly and it cooked faster than the manual said. So we'll probably be checking about 10 minutes into the cook, even though it recommends 13 to 15. So I got our batter right here that's looking quite delicious. And basically I just want to fill the machine with the batter. I want to do this quickly because I don't want parts of the outside of the cake to overcook, and that should be good. And then I want to flip it, and we'll be back in about 10 to check on it. I did say 10 minutes, but it's been about 8, and I am smelling it, so I do want to take an initial quick check of the cake. Wow, the top of that is burning, and it's coming out dry, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this one and put it right here on this parchment lined sheet. Let me turn it over. Yeah, it's like one side just overcooks and the other one cooks just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and spray it again and get cake number 2 in here. Again, I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible to reduce the amount of burning, which is the major drawback with this machine. It is the one thing that truly saves it from being a great machine. Get one more little scoop in there. All right. Must have come unaligned. There we go. We'll be back in a few. Okay, we're 8 minutes in, so let's flip it over, open it up. Yep, that's done. Let me take this out, dump it on the cutting board. Oh my God, what happened here? That is not good. The good thing is, it seems like that was just batter that stuck to the side because it's not on the cake. So I'm going to let these cakes cool, and in the meantime, I'm going to make the glaze. Time to make the glaze. Should be super simple. Just need 1/4 cup of sugar right here. And then the rest of the lemon juice. See how much I have. The recipe called for 1/3 of a cup, and I got just over that, so I'm going to pour off just a drop. Should be good. And basically all I got to do is just whisk it all together for a few minutes. Not a very thick type glaze, but it'll work, it'll soak in, it'll add some extra lemony flavor to those cakes. Alright, so let me get the cakes and we'll pour it over and give them a taste. So what I did, I pricked some holes in the cakes to help with absorption. I'm just pouring the glaze over the top to get as much of it in here as possible. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let these cakes sit here for just a few minutes so the glaze has time to absorb, and then we're gonna get a taste. All right, time to try this lemon pound cake. Just gonna cut a little slice right here. Looks quite good. Let me taste it. Very lemony. Now, while I do think this would have come out a little better being cooked in the oven, that's not really what we do here. We review the weird kitchen devices, so we had to bring this one back. But it is delicious, and I do think that the Adams County Sheriff Department would definitely steal themselves a slice. I have a little bit of batter left over, and if you've watched this channel before, you know what we're about to do with it. So this batter made a quite decent lemon pound cake. Now, unfortunately, it's time to find out, will it glizz? Now, I needed a device that had a well that I could put the batter and the hot dog in, and for some godforsaken reason, I still haven't gotten rid of the GT Express 101 yet. So I'm going to plug this in and let it heat up, and then we're going to try the lemon pound cake dog. Okay, so the preheating light just turned off, so let me go ahead and open it up. And what I want to do first is get a bottom layer of batter. Now this batter is kind of tough now because I was keeping it in the fridge while I was doing everything else, but we'll make it work. Go ahead and throw the hot dog in there, and then whatever batter we have left, we're just going to throw right on top of the hot dog. Be sure to subscribe. I suffer for your entertainment. Got a little bit more in there. Should be good. Now I'm going to let this cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. 4 minutes in, let's take a look. I will say this much. This thing definitely cooks a lot less quick than the Bundt cake machine, and that's probably a good thing. So we'll leave it in there a few more, and hopefully on our next check it will be done. Okay, 8-minute check. That is definitely not done, so I'm going to leave it in there another couple. Okay, let's see it now. Yeah, that's done. All right, so I got the little GT Express 101 spatula that comes with it. Let me go ahead and pull this out and get it on the plate. Yeah, okay. I'm going to let that cool because that's been cooking for a while, and in a couple minutes, we'll try it. All right, so the lemon pound cake glizzy has had a few minutes to cool. Let me cut this in half. Falling apart. Feel the hot dog. Yeah, that's done. Against my better judgment, let me take a bite of this. It's interesting. I'll give it that much, but not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. So I'm going to finish this up and then we're going to close the episode out. So this was one of the more fun episodes I've filmed. Sometimes in the world of social media, you gotta jump on with whatever's culturally relevant at the time. And, well, right now it was lemon pound cake. And like I had said a few episodes ago, once in a while I am going to bring back stuff we've tested before for whatever reason. Now, as I said in the initial review of the Alex by Dash, it's not the best machine, mainly because it doesn't cook evenly and it doesn't have a temperature control, but it works well for what it does. And the pound cakes came out good, and I want to try that recipe again, doing it the right way and maybe with a different glaze for it, but they were still quite good. So in our next episode, we'll be back to our usual format. Probably gonna go with the idea that I scrapped so I could jump on with the whole lemon pound cake thing. And we look forward to seeing you then. Well, thanks for joining us on this edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. Be sure to subscribe. Follow us on both Facebook and TikTok, linked in the description below. Tell your friends about us. Leave us a line down there in the comment section. Get out there and support your local thrift store, and have a wonderful day.